Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for joining us. And here we are. So we're live. Everything looks good. Systems are ready to go. And we have Josh joining us any moment now. And he'll be coming in and kicking us off today. So thank you for joining us. It's Friday. It's our last webinar of the week. And we are going to be making a decision as to what we do moving forward. Do you want these on a daily basis? Would you be happy with these on a weekly basis? What would work better for you? So please do put a message in the comments. Let me know what you would prefer or what's easy for you. Because we've effectively come to the end of the first segment of webinars, but we are continuing the webinars. So the good news is we are continuing, but would you be happy with a weekly or daily? But I have to say something really important to Shirley Ann, and it's happy birthday, Shirley Ann. It's her birthday today. And so well done. Hope you're having a great birthday. And Friday the 15th of May, it's a lovely day as well. So you've got the weather coming up, nice weekend ahead, hopefully, and some lovely weather. So I hope you enjoy that. But yeah, it's an interesting time to have a birthday, isn't it, at the moment? Mine was in March. Mid-March when we all went into lockdown, so it was rather strange as well. Okay, so twice a week from Gareth. Good feedback. Thank you, Gareth. Hello, everyone. Mary, hi. Mark, hi, Andrew. Good to see everyone today again. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking for webinars? Weekly? We've got weekly. We've got twice a week. Weekly, yeah, good. Maybe we could send updates as well via those annoying emails. We're thinking we'll continue some kind of free advice regularly through emails. But weekly sounds good, yeah. All right, well, we are having a look at that, and we'll no doubt email you with confirmation. Maybe we could do it twice a week. We'll come back to that. We'll have a look at that. Some interesting feedback, Josh. Hi, Josh. Welcome to the webinar.
Hello. How you doing?
Good, thanks. You?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Looking good?
Oh, thank you very much. You too.
Haven't seen you in 9 weeks, but looking good. Okay. Well, Josh, I have got a good one planned today, which I know you know about. But for everyone else, I've got a really good webinar planned. So let's end the week on a high. Might be about 12:05 when we finish this one, but we've got a good one around your website and website best practices. So some new information I'm going to show you today, some new tips. So yeah, really good feedback. Thanks everyone. Weekly. Okay. It seems like weekly might be winning. We are thinking Wednesdays, and we are looking at a weekly Wednesday webinar in that case. That might be the good one. We could even call it the Wednesday weekly webinar, WWW. You know, that could be a nice little brand name. So we're thinking Wednesdays. Last question for everyone then before we crack on. 11 a.m. or 2 p.m.? In fact, before you answer that, wait. 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. I'm going to put a poll in the chat. How do we do this, Josh? Is that it? There we go.
Do you want me to do it? Oh, there we go.
I've done it. Yeah, there we go. Is that live in the chat? Oh, there's a poll.
Yeah, that's live.
So everyone should see a poll. So if you can vote in the poll, 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. I'll just have a sip of coffee. Good. Okay, 11 a.m. seems to be winning. Think about it though. I'm saying 2 p.m. because it's we quite like the 2 p.m. idea, but we'll definitely stick with 11 a.m. If 11 a.m. wins, we're going to stick with 11 a.m. So don't let me influence. But 11 a.m. 11 a.m. actually, the web traffic, the internet seems a bit quicker as well. We find 2 p.m. it seems peak time, and we've often had problems. But 2 p.m. gives us plenty of time, but I don't mind 11 a.m. 2 p.m. So it looks like 11 a.m. So we're probably going to stick with that. Thank you for voting, everyone. And it's good. I like those polls, Josh. We should do that more often.
They're good. I run them quite a lot when you're off on tangent.
on a tangent, chatting on for 2 hours or 3 hours. Okay, so we've got a good one today. It's all about your website, best practices. But I know Josh wants to just summarize a couple of things first. We're looking at 5 minutes, Josh, maybe just to
Yeah.
summarize a few important things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or a couple of things that you've maybe spotted that we haven't talked about yet. So it's
Yeah.
end of week. Let's do a quick summary. Josh wants to add a few things in. So whilst he does that, I'll just type away on a few things. Go for it, Josh.
Yeah, so because it's end of week, I kind of want to round up all the basics that we should have done already. This might be stuff that we might have touched upon very slightly, or it might have been stuff that we haven't gone into yet. But basically, I just want to sort out the basics when it comes to marketing, including I'm going to start off with your business listings because they are me and Matt say this all the time in the office. We call your listings and your website your home. So we say, sort out your home first, and then we'll get you found. That's the kind of idea that we like to run with, isn't it, Matt? Of sorting out your home first, and then sorting out your front garden and then your back garden and getting found, as if it were. So let's sort out your home today. So what I mean by that is we're going to be looking at your listings. So obviously, I'm just gonna jump on a screen share. So we all know Google My Business by now. If we don't, where have you been? No, I'm joking. So yeah, let's sort out your Google My Business first. So I'm just gonna screen share. There we go. You should see Google. Yep. Okay. So you're on Google. To sort out Google My Business, there's a couple of ways you can go into it. Obviously, you can type in Google My Business into Google. If you do use it often, it will come up here on the top right hand side. You will see it on one of these tiles. These tiles move around depending on how often you use these. So it might not be located here. Yours might be at the top, or you might be at the bottom, or click more from Google. Again, all you need to do is type in Google My Business into Google if you can't see the logo. And then once you're in here, I'm just going to choose the Hair Emporium. So once you're in here, this is what you will see. The first screen that you saw there was when you have loads of listings and you can choose the listing that you want to go into. So I'm going to keep it really nice and top level today. Obviously, we've been through this a lot already. Main things that you need to do is go onto the info tab and fill out all of that information. Make sure there's nothing missing on the info tab. The more you use it, the better it's going to be later on down the line for getting found on Google. The number one thing that's important when filling these out, be as accurate and be as descriptive as possible. So as you noticed, I don't know if you have actually, but we can see here at the top are your categories. Now, you can put in more than one category. You can choose one primary category. A little top tip to find your primary category. I am aware that these categories are very Americanized. They tend to come up with some weird ways of saying things that we would normally say. They are very Americanized. But a little top tip for you to find out your perfect category. All I need you to do is just open up a new tab, go into Google. Once you're into Google, I want you to search for the search term you want to be found for. So I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I think I'll go with boiler installation because I kind of like that industry. So I'm going to go to boiler installation. I'm just going to type that in. Here we go. This is a perfect example of an Americanized category. So I've typed in boiler installation. Now for boiler installers, that's the search term they want to be found for. So it's come up with a location pack, a map pack, or a Google My Business pack. There's multiple ways of saying that, but it comes up with the location. So you see you've got 3 preferred businesses that Google have pulled up there. Notice how I've typed in boiler installation, but yet the category is showing essential heating service. If I click onto there, it will then show me that it's actually heating contractor. So there's 3 different ways for saying boiler installation in Google's eyes. You've got boiler installation, you've got central heating service, and then heating contractor. So what I would then recommend to a customer that is with InfoServe, and they are choosing their category, I would say put your main category as heating contractor, even though we're after boiler installation. The reason being is because the main category here is heating contractor, and they came up first on Google. I would replicate what your competitors are doing and what's working well for them. So as we've come up with two categories there, which is heating contractor and central heating service. So all I do is I go back into the categories and I'll change this to heating contractor. There we go. So I won't choose that, but I'm just showing you as an example. And then the additional categories, I would then choose as central. Central heating contractor. Where's it gone? It is around here somewhere. Central. It's because it changes it to central heating contractor from heating contractor. Again, it's just having a look, see what Google kind of puts up at you. I'm just going to put heating and see if that changes to anything. No. So perfect. So I'd keep that as heating contractor, and then you're going to get found for the search term boiler installations. So that's a little top tip for you there. But again, just to make sure all of this information is filled out to the best of your abilities. Definitely fill out your services. I've already been through the Hair Emporium's listing already, and we added loads and loads of services. Now these are exactly what you're wanting to get found for, so you need to put these into your Google My Business. If you don't have these filled out like we have, then you're just not going to give yourself the best chance. So top and bottom of it, to round it up, make sure that is all filled out. Obviously, the number one thing as well is to show your trust and credibility to potential customers. So you need to have reviews on your Google My Business listing. Now, sometimes on this home page, so you click on home, sometimes Google will show you a review link. So in this case, it says get more reviews. So then all we have to do is click share review form, and then we can just copy that. And then we can send that to our customers already. We can put it at the bottom of an invoice. We could put it on our social medias. We can do anything. We can contact our 10 happiest customers and send them a link and ask them to review us. But that's a quick way of getting the review link. Now, last time we told you to update your Google My Business. Well, we've been doing this since March. So Google My Business is taking a little while. They are getting back to normal. They are actually getting back to normal a lot quicker than we expected. So it can take time for edits to get accepted. Don't worry about them. Just come back in a week later and just check the edits. But again, go through everything and make sure everything's okay. With your short names, they were getting rejected. All I can say is try your short name again, see if it does get accepted. The only reason it's getting rejected is because Google don't have everyone working at the moment, so they're just basically saying no for now. You know if it's rejected when it's orange with a line through. If it's orange with a line through, again, just come back in a week later and then try change your short name again. So just to kind of show you that, you go on to info, and then you go on to your short name here. So we've tried already for the Hair Emporium. In fact, it was about a week ago, so I'm just going to change it again, just so it gets accepted. See if that'll accept that. Username unavailable. Let's go for username unavailable. Brilliant. No, it won't accept it for some reason. Again, this is a problem that we've been having. No, it doesn't want to accept it for some reason. No, it's not liking it. So it looks like short names aren't changing just yet for whatever reason. It is a bit of a pain that we've been having with Google. Again, see, this doesn't mean that it won't work for your industry. They are rolling it out per industry, per category, per country. So it will get rolled out. Eventually, it will become accepted. I was just trying my luck. But yeah, that's top and bottom of it. Make sure it's all filled out and up to date, because that is your house. That is the first port of call people will see. For instance, when I typed in boiler installation, these come up, and you want to be in these map packs, all with correct and accurate information. And then obviously you want to get found organically. The better you have. So if you fill out all this information, make sure all of this information is exact and replicated across all the other business directories you have a listing on. The reason that is, the more accurate and the more up to date your information is across all of your listings, the better it is for SEO. Google don't just rely on the information you give them. Google also rely on the information it finds about your business across the web. That will be on everything. Those kind of 50 different listings that we have shown you. Make sure you're on there. Make sure your information is up to date, accurate, and it will just give you your best possible chance on getting found in these map packs. But yeah, that's basically a quick 5-minute roundup of making sure that it's all up to date and ready to go.
Thanks, Josh. Really helpful. Just a couple of little tips there for everyone. And so I'm going to share my screen now, and let me just enable that. It takes 2 seconds. There we go. Okay, so we're all set. So yeah, just a quick summary of a couple of things there from Josh. Really important things that he wanted to highlight before we get on with it. But there's a few things that obviously I've mentioned already around your website. So I'm looking at your website today, and we'll probably just run over 12 o'clock today, just to give you a heads up, maybe 10 past 12, 5 past 12. But some really important bits and bobs in here today. So before I start, I wanted to say a little bit of a note about, because a couple of people have asked us, what is the difference between a Google partner and a Google Premier partner? No, it's there's a lot of stuff I could go into here, but top level is that we get extra training and special training from Google, Microsoft, and Facebook, and very rarely do we see that with other agencies. So they come and visit us, and they were telling us that we were one of the only 3 or something in the UK. I think there's only us and maybe 1 or 2 others in the UK that got this training in the last few years. So we're very lucky to get unique training. And that's what I'm talking about today, best practices for your website. So Google also know what works when it comes to your website, and Microsoft obviously as well. They know how you can get more conversions from your website. So some of the things I'm going to show you are some of the things that obviously we've had from Google and Microsoft, and their data and their insights. With the partnerships that we have with Google, Microsoft, and Facebook, I mean, here's a Google. The photo you can see here is us down at the Google office in King's Cross. I think that was 2018, I believe. But what we get from Google and the guys, Microsoft, is direct support. So if any of you are working with InfoServe, then be rest assured that we have that direct support from those guys at Google and Microsoft, and that's what you get with a Google Premier partner and Microsoft Elite partner. You don't get direct one-to-one support with other partners. So we're one of 3 in the UK that gets that from Google and Microsoft, that direct one-to-one support. How does that benefit you? Well, it just benefits you in many ways, whether it be your campaign management, whether it be the help and support that we can give you. But yeah, what they do is they manage the campaign with us. So they effectively are looking at your campaign that you're running with us, or they'll even look at your website. I mean, some of you that are in here today, Google might have brought up your website in a meeting with us. They've done it so many times. They've brought up a website and said, look, that needs changing, and that's why you sometimes hear from us when we say we'd advise you to do this, or even these webinars. We're doing this because we've seen so many opportunities for you guys to improve your own website and Google marketing, etc., etc. So they really do manage campaigns with us. And again, you get that with a Premier partnership, and we get access to all the latest products before anyone else, such as the ad extensions and things like that we showed you yesterday. So some ad extensions, they don't get released to the public. They come to us first and we test them. And obviously all the best practice advice, but we're lucky enough to go down there very often. I'm somewhere there in the pink shirt at the front with Derek, our CEO, and we're lucky enough to go and visit the Google office. Here we are, obviously. This is us having a little celebration with Google. There's our Google Premier, our partner manager, Chrysante. She's Greek, and she knows how to have fun with a drink or two. So there's us on an evening celebration at Google. So just a bit of a background about us and what we do at Google and how it all works. That last slide said website best practices. So this is all about website best practices. And so first of all, what I wanted to touch on was the homepage. So let's go straight in and let's start going a million miles an hour again, like we normally do. So looking at the homepage, first of all, I just want to highlight a few things that we've seen and whilst auditing many of your websites. So the homepage, what is it? It needs to explain who I am, what I do, what can I do? What can you do? So basically what I'm saying is, as a visitor, if I'm visiting your website, I need to know what I can do on your website. What can I do here? So I've landed on your homepage, and you need to be able to tell me what I can do on this, on this website. But it needs to explain who you are and what you do. Most of you have that pretty much in place. Even if it's just at least the what you do and who you are, the what you do and who you are, it's obviously needs to be explained very quickly on the homepage. Now, as a visitor, I want to know quickly what I can do. Like, what do I need to do? What can I do on this? What do you want me to do? So you need to lead your visitor down that path pretty quickly. Looking at the screenshot here, obviously there's a few buttons I see. There's a book a virtual tour, so I can book a virtual tour of the wedding venue, which is pretty cool actually, or I can view the wedding venues themselves. So it's pretty clear that I'm landing on this website here, and I can now really quickly see the wedding venues. That's the first step in my journey, is let's have a look at the wedding venues. So that's all good. But one thing, if you look at point 2 on that list there, you need to make sure that your homepage has an always changing design. So the design is ever changing. So, for example, don't just leave your homepage for 2 or 3 years or even a year. Update it. Update that hero image, the top half of your homepage. Refresh it every month if you can. Change the background image, change the wording, because the headline or the wording needs to adapt to the current market, right? So, that your business changes all the time, and the industry and the market changes all the time. You need to adapt the homepage to whatever is happening in the market or, out there in the consumer world. And also you just need to keep it fresh, keep it looking fresh. Bear in mind that people, the same people, will be going back to your website, throughout that year or 2 years. And if it just looks the same all the time, it starts to get boring. So it is really important to have an always changing design and keep it looking fresh. I just need to grab something there. So in terms of a homepage, a good example of a homepage is a homepage that stands out and tells the user exactly what it's all about. So this is a homepage of a website. They're called Pixel Grade. Now, their headline says design-driven WordPress themes, and it says underneath that, it says, we put design at the core of our themes and tailor them to those who make things happen And then the call to action is browse our themes. So we're straight in there. It's really clear and it's really easy to get started. And the quality of the design on this particular homepage is fantastic. Really nice font, striking colors, but the colors are going to be matching the brand. Another example, a really strong call to action on the homepage, try free for 30 days. But look at their headline. It says, securely share, sync, and collaborate. So that headline is obviously part of their brand message. Now, we've been talking about H1s and headlines having to include your keywords and maybe even your location. So bed and breakfast, Devon, for example. Those headlines are really important. Those keyword-rich headlines are really important on things like service pages or landing pages. So if I land from a campaign on a particular page on your website, that headline needs to describe what's on that page. But with your homepage, you do have an opportunity to, I don't know what the best way to say, brand it up. Maybe use a bit more of your branding, be a bit more creative with the headline. So it's okay to not necessarily have the keywords and the location in that homepage H1 or homepage headline. So here's an example of where they're describing what their product is or how their product benefits, basically. So remember, we've been talking about benefits first. What's in it for me as a visitor, as a consumer? Well, these guys have got it just right. Securely share, sync, and collaborate. So just have a read of that, because that's a really good headline and hero image on a homepage. And obviously Josh can jump in at any time if he spots something good. But they've got obviously the try free for 30 days button, and then underneath that button they've got or purchase now. And I'm right in there. I'm straight in there with the journey of getting started. Have the most important content at the top of your homepage is what I'm trying to say. So make sure you've got the most important summary of what you do and what your business does. Make sure that people can access and get started straight from the top of the homepage. Here's another example: small business accounting software that makes billing painless. These are the best examples, by the way. And what you've got in that headline is the benefit. It's making billing painless, and it's also showing what they're offering, which is small business accounting software. And there's a bit of a description underneath it saying the all-new FreshBooks is accountant software that makes running your small business easy, fast, and secure. Spend less time on accounting and more time doing the work you love. That is a great subheader which covers all of the benefits of using you as a business or them as a business. I've really got the sort of what's in it for me message there. It's showing how they're unique, and it's showing how they that solution fixes a problem. So all of the stuff that we've been talking about in previous webinars, how your solution, how your service fixes a problem. And you've got to try and highlight that in your homepage, at the top of the homepage, if you can. Have all the most important information with the most important button at the top of your homepage. So there's they've got obviously the button Get Started for free. They've even got a 97% of small business owners recommend FreshBooks. They've even got a really small snippet of credibility, recommendations there. So it's almost everything in that homepage hero image is it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. They've got a screenshot of the product. Now, obviously, this is different because we've got many different businesses in this webinar, from pest control to accountants to hotels through to technology companies like this. So you've got to adapt it to what you do, obviously. So, for example, let's take the most hardest example is maybe a pest control. Let's say you do pest control. How would I use my website hero image? Well, I would highlight the problem. because, pest control fixes a problem. And so I would almost copy this one and say, you could spend less time trying to get rid of the pests and more time enjoying your home. Call us today for 1 hour turnaround. The pest control. Just think obviously outside the box, but think about how your solution fixes typical problems and really highlight the benefits. So their benefits is obviously it's easy, it's fast, and it's secure. It makes things easy, fast, and secure, and it's quick. So there's a really good example. Sorry, that one there is a really good example. So just to recap, the homepage hero image is where your most important information about your business, about the main service that you offer, or what do you want people to do? Well, it has to be in that homepage hero image. If you've just got a simple contact us button, that's okay. That's not too bad. But could you do more with that? Could you do more with that? Contact us. Maybe if you're a builder, for example, instead of just having a contact us button in this hero image, maybe you could be saying things like get a free quotation, get a free quote within 24 hours. I don't know. How can you position yourself differently to the builder that's down the road? What is it you can do that you can come up with that positions yourself differently? What is the benefit of using you? What is the service that you offer? And let's get people literally buying from you from the homepage hero. So that hero image, basically the thing at the top of the homepage, is the most important area of your entire website. It makes or breaks the next kind of journey when someone's on your website. In terms of throughout the website, a good example, Apple have the best designers in the world, I'd pretty much say. So when it comes to their website, it's almost flawless. What Apple do, and it's what everyone should do, because Apple are just a business at the end of the day, and we should copy the best. So use consistent branding throughout the website. So for example, you've got a distinctive logo. How does your logo look? Okay. Make sure that your logo is high quality and clear and modern. I want to have a look at a few websites in this session, if that's okay. So if you want us to look at your website and to look at your logo and be really critical, so I'm just giving you the heads up, then please do put your website URL into the chat, and we'll have a look at your website and we'll have a look at your logo in a minute. So just drop your URL into the chat. But the logo is the thing that represents you and your brand. People look at your logo and look at your website and make a decision on how it all looks. They don't care about you as a person behind that. They're actually just looking at how your business looks through colors and how modern, how clean, and how good it looks, really. So you've really got to bring these things up to date because you're in competition with some of the biggest brands out there, unfortunately. You've got to make sure your headlines convey your brand goals as well. We've looked at headlines in the hero image there. Well, all through the website, those headlines could or maybe should convey your brand goals. So if you have a look at the headline here, the iPhone X, it says, "Say hello to the future." That "say hello to the future," that is a headline. That headline has been thought about and debated within their marketing team for weeks, probably, right? They've probably had a marketing team working on that headline for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, months maybe. What is the headline that we're going to associate with our service or our product? Say hello to the future. Okay, interesting. So can you guys think of something that you can use in headlines like this that conveys your brand goal? What is your brand goal? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What is the feeling that you want to get across to your audience? So like, for example, if you are a builder or a plumber, are consumers skeptical about hiring a builder these days. I mean, I probably would be skeptical about bringing a stranger that I've never met into my home to do some of the most important work on one of the most important things in my life. That is something I'd be skeptical about. So how does your logo and your brand headlines convey your brand goals? So as a builder, for example, like say, you want to come across trustworthy and warm and friendly, right? If I was a builder, that's probably how I would be building my brand. Warm, friendly, trustworthy, obviously high quality, so my headlines would be along the lines of your friendly local builder. That could be one of my headlines. Your as in, because I wouldn't be saying Harrogate or Leeds friendly builder. I'm saying your friendly local builder. This is just kind of basic marketing things that you can implement across your website really easily. But just have a little think about how those headlines convey your brand goals. So, if you're pest control, just to go back to that example, if you need, or if you're an emergency plumber, I'm not really bothered if you're warm and friendly and lovely. I just want the job done to a good standard and done quickly. So maybe from those kind of businesses, it maybe needs to angle on the quick, efficient, reliable kind of brand, that brand goal. And so, if you're a B&B, I like to go to accommodation that's relaxed, kind of informal. They're not on me all the time. They just leave me be, and I've seen bed and breakfasts. There was a person in the webinar just recently where they said sometimes we don't see our guests, and we do that on purpose. We just leave them to it completely, and they love it. They keep visiting us over and over and over because we're not in their face. We're kind of silent staff and not seen, but we offer a high quality service. So the brand message would be, friendly, comfortable, like home from home. That would maybe be the kind of brand goal. So yeah, that's something to think about when it comes to all through your website. You need to have headlines that convey your brand goals. Sub headlines. It doesn't need to be the H1. It could be the thing that's underneath the H1. And obviously make sure that throughout your website, I mean, these are essential best practices, but make sure throughout your website, you're showing off really high quality photography. Really be careful about the pictures that you take of your business. And I see this so often with websites, and I find it really difficult to say to business owners, you need to really take that photo again. There's so many B&Bs bed and breakfasts, where I see some really poor photography. And I'm looking at the website going, no, I would never stay there. I personally would never go to that B&B. You've really got to make sure that you put a bit of investment into the photography, and be careful of your angles. And this is why estate agents hire professional photographers to take angled shots of particular rooms. So whether it be in the interior or the product or the service, or even the before and after photos, if you're a builder or whatever it may be, make sure they're high quality. Okay, make sure that you've been really careful with. Why not go on a photography course? They're only going to be a couple of £100, surely. So get good at doing it. If you're taking the photos in your business, invest in photography, invest in a good camera. I can absolutely assure you, this kind of stuff makes or breaks that conversion. Okay, so if you're probably watching this going, yeah, I think I'm okay. I've got some good photos. I'm all right. I don't. Just one poor photo can put a visitor off from using your business, and that is real. This is true. We wouldn't be telling you this if it wasn't so high and common in what we see and what Google see and Microsoft see. The problem that everybody has as a business owner is you don't know how much you're losing. Okay, so you don't know how much business you are losing unless you're really good at Google Analytics. Check your Google Analytics. How many clicks, how many visitors are you getting to your website? And how many conversions do you have from those visitors? If it's less than 5%, then that starts to become a bit of a worry, or less than 3%. then that is a bit of a concern. So you need that's the sort of starting point. But yeah, those are kind of three big things there. But another thing I wanted to touch on was white space. What is white space? It's really important to give your website elements room to breathe. Okay, so give those elements room to breathe. Yeah, visually. It also helps people see the most important bits of your website. So I'm just going to flick back 1 second to say this one here. White space is literally the space around the main bits that you want people to see. So this one has a lot of white space around design-driven WordPress themes. So there's not much above that, and there's not much below the button either. There's nice spacing around that. White space again around this secure share, etc., and the button. There's spacing in between it. And if you can look at the iPhone, the Apple site, there's loads and loads of white space. Sections are really easy to see on the Apple website. Sections and products are really distinguished. And here's the example that I just had up again. So in terms of this particular website, it's got room to breathe. If you group items too closely together, you do risk overwhelming visitors. All right. So if all of your sections and all of your items are too close together with context and imagery very, very close together, you do overwhelm people. And also things don't stand out. So the most important elements, we'll call everything on your website elements for this, but the most important elements are not standing out well enough. So you just don't get those conversions. So you're convincing them basically to click away. They just jump off. They click away. So let's just go to a quick page and just view that Yorkshire Escapes website really quick, because this is one that I had on my screen here. And here's the section that I was referring to. And above and below that section, there's not much going on. Okay, so there's not really much going on there, and that is what we call white space. And the reason why we've done that is because we really want people to see this bit. We really want people to see this bit. And again here, there's not much below, and there's a little bit of white space above. There's not so much going on there, so it's nice. It's nicely standing out in the website because we want people to see that. Again here, you notice before I see the next words or content, look, there's no words or content until here. So this bit here really does stand out. And, I can go to here again, same kind. Actually, we could probably even space this out here a little bit more. If I wanted to be really critical, and I could speak to the design team afterwards, but I would actually put more. I would pad that out more. I would have more spacing between this bit here and this bit. Because that's a little bit close to me. It's a bit tight, but it's almost there, and it looks really cool. It looks really good, but I can certainly see this really clearly. Let's face it, it's really clear to see. Everything from even the little curved corners. I really like the curved corners just here at the top of these images, just small design elements. But here is the most important part of the website. And I think our design team have done an unbelievable job with this one. Don't get me wrong, I'm very critical on many of our websites that we do, but this one particularly stands out for me because the most important part of the website is at the top of the homepage. And I can get straight in here to what I want at the top of this homepage. It is absolutely perfect. So I can obviously select my adults. Let's go search. And there we go. And I've got the information I want straight away. And I can click on the item there. And it's a beautifully laid out page describing that particular holiday cottage in detail. And obviously it's really, look how this is fixed on the right-hand side, the call to action, it never moves. So I can really easily get started, or I can view more images. So that's just a really good example of how to use white space and give elements breathing space. And so it helps people see the most important part. So what do you want people to see? Well, you want people to see certain elements on your website. Make sure there's spacing between the most important elements. And it kind of links to reducing choices. So make sure you reduce the choices on your website. What do I mean by that? Well, there's something called the Hicks Law. And the Hicks Law shows us that the more choices, this is a psychological study, by the way, the more choices that we offer, okay, as a user, the longer it takes for them to decide. So the more choices you offer for a user, the longer it will take for them to decide, thus increasing the chance that they will abandon your website. So there's a little kind of graph to indicate number of options, time it takes to decide, abandon the website. Okay, so that's really important. A really important best practice tip is reducing the number of choices and options. More choices equals fewer conversions. So what you're going to have to do this weekend or today is check over your website. But when you're looking at your website, look at it from a visitor's point of view. Don't look at it from a business owner's point of view. Look at it as if you're try to put yourself in your visitor's shoes, a first-time visitor to your website, and really take that kind of stance with it. You've got to be critical. You've got to be open-minded and as if you've not looked at it before. And just go through each page and have a look at how many choices are on each page of your website. Instead of presenting your visitors with 20 products on the homepage, suggest just one. Right? So instead of having loads and loads of products and services on the homepage, why not just have one or two, maybe at most? So have a look at your homepage and really evaluate how many choices you've got on that homepage, and have a look at your service pages and all the other pages on your website. How many buttons are there? How many different button options? So if I click one button, does it go somewhere? And if I click this button down here, it goes somewhere else. Or if can I download a PDF here, and then can I call you here, and then can I go to your blog here? That's a big no-no. You know, all these different buttons on one page is too confusing. There's too many options. Reduce the options, reduce the don't reduce the buttons, but reduce the number of options of choices. So if you're having a button on your website or a page, try to have those buttons do the same thing. So it's the same choice, but you know, you can have the button repeated on the page more than once, but it's doing the same thing, the same action. So try to reduce the number of options and choices. I hope that helps. There was a study done in America across all these different industries: automotive, finance, retail, technology, etc. And websites are loading really slowly, and the same is in the UK, if not worse in some cases. And the reason why websites load slowly is because of image compression or image size. We need to make sure those images are compressed and appropriate for the website screen. You don't need a huge 3000 by 2000 pixel image on your website when websites only show 1000 pixels in width. So, you know, images 1200 by 800, those image sizes will be absolutely fine. You don't need to upload huge images to your website. So you need to make sure those images are compressed. And if you don't know what I'm talking about by this, that's okay, because years ago, if I wasn't in this industry, I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. So make sure that you just speak to your web developer and just double check the images are compressed. There's tools out there that you can use to check if how your website is. In fact, I think I've got a tool. So I'm just going to pause for a second. I think I've got a really good tool that everyone can use if you bear with me. Josh, if there's anything you want to say at this point whilst I'm doing this, just to fill in, be a bit of a filler for me.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I was just in the sidelines.
No, it's not cool. Good.
Yeah, so Robbie asked a really good question, actually, which I've just been replying to him in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, he's crashed. Don't worry. I've actually got so Josh is frozen there. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Hopefully it's all okay. But Josh has got some issues. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. We have, for you, because it's a Friday and because most of you have joined our webinar on a daily basis, and we thank you for that so much, we've actually created the digital marketing audit tool on our website for you to use yourself. So you don't have to even reach out to us to do it. We've actually, our tech team have managed to get the tool that we've been showing you throughout these webinars where we have to run the audit for you. We've put it on our website, and we've put it on the website at infoserve.com /health check. That's all it is. Infoserve.com / that's the URL. So it's infoserve.com /health check. And if you go there, you'll find this screen, and all you need to do is put your website address in here, and you can put your business details, because if the more details you put in, the more it checks. Basically, it'll check your local listings. So that will give you an overview of just to sort of highlight. It just highlights what's wrong, and it'll show you images and all that, and it can help you decide whether your website is SEO friendly. But yeah, infoserve.com /health check. I'm just going to check in to see if everything's okay. Looks like everything's all right. All right, can we use it? Okay. Okay, just checking some of the questions there. I'm going to go back. So what we've done is we've, like I say, we've uploaded that, well, not uploaded, we've had to build it. So we spent the last week trying to build this into our website for you guys. So hopefully that will, it gives you something basic to look at. If you need us to explain anything on the results page, just go to infoserve.com /support and request a one-to-one. Infoserve.com /support, and just click that button there, request a one-to-one. Actually, just looking at this page here, I'm going to be coming to this in a second. Notice the color of the buttons. We've got the most important button is blue, and quite obvious there and quite easy to spot. I mean, I don't know if this is lesser important to us, but we've got this color, obviously a lighter gray, a bit more discreet on the page there, but clearly our call to action is to register for the webinar. So I'm going to come back to that in a second, because we're just going to be looking at that. So yeah, if you want to run your website through that tool, it gives you a basic overview. We've got a little bit more work to do on the tool, but yeah, some basic stuff, basic report will come up there, and you can use that for free. What you need to do is you need to boost conversions. You need to reduce load times. Your website load speed does affect conversion rates, and so compress those images no larger than what the screen size demands. Like I said, the screen size doesn't demand huge images and high resolution images. So make sure that your website loads within 4 seconds, okay? Because that's usually the sweet spot, 4 seconds. Okay, so I just was looking at our landing page, and this is what I was coming to, was colors and contrast. So it's important to make sure that elements on your website, important elements on your website, stand out from things that aren't so important. Okay, so you've all got a lot of information on your website, okay, and there's a lot of content, and there's a lot of buttons and a lot of call to actions. What are the most important bits? People basically look to where you want them to look, and if you want people to look at a specific line in your content, well, a tip might be like what this website's done, where they've highlighted exponentially grow their traffic. Okay, so wow, okay, I can exponentially grow my traffic. All right, so over 1 million website visitors per month. Okay, so these orange bits here are jumping out to me in their content, and that's a nice little trick that you can do with your website design and content. You can make the most important bits of a headline stand out. So let's just have a look at a website really quickly. I'm going to go into the chat and see if there's any websites. Some of you have dared to give me your website address, and I'm sorry in advance if this is going to be critical. But let's have a look, and I'll try and show you exactly. Oh, okay, this is actually really good. They obviously have nice design with that particular content there standing out, and I like the fact that you've. I don't know if it's following our best practices, but you've got all of the right things in place here, so that's really good. The only thing I would say is, what is the benefit? So you've got to express yourself here with language. What is the unique selling point of your brand? What is the brand goal here? Because this, like I say, this area of the website is the most important part of your website. This looks like a website we've done. Yes, it is. It's a website we've done. I'm glad it's a website because I like the way it's laid out. Look at these sections are really easy for your particular industry. These have been designed in a certain way. I mean, obviously, a B&B or an accommodation wouldn't have a website like this, but for your type of industry, this is very, very well designed in terms of sections and layouts. So that's really good. But obviously, the next level would be to think about marketing, and we'll follow your guidelines with your website and your content. We can only really follow what you want in the content, but as a business owner, only you can kind of come up with that idea of what is my unique selling point, and why will people use me? Remember, it needs to be here. So you've got express yourself with language courses. I don't really know much about your business, so I'm just going to take a wild kind of stab at it here, and I'd say, how quickly can I learn the language? Rosetta Stone. I can't remember the spelling of this. Is it Rosetta Stone? There we go. Let's have a look. The one that comes to my mind as a general consumer out there is this. Learn the language, not just the words. Okay, 3-day free trial. Wow, there's all sorts happening here. Start a 3-day free trial. They've got their accreditation, their award there as well, which is a really good idea. But just take a look at this as maybe a sort of, always look at the big brands in your industry. And now it says here, without any translation, without any translation, it teaches you the sights and sounds you need to communicate effectively in everyday situations. Everyday situations. That is reaching out to me there, because I remember learning French and none of it was useful really. I don't need to know where the bank is. I need to everyday situation. So speaking and enjoying language from the start. Okay. So express yourself with language courses. How quickly am I going to start to, I want to know as a consumer, how long does this take? How long is this course going to take me? And so here you've got interpreting services to meet your needs, offering language courses. So you've got the kind of the services, but start to think about your brand and your brand message and the why you, and what is it that your solution fixes. Like, what is your brand basically is what I'm trying to get at here. So it's worth having a look through competitor websites and how they convey their brand. And how they price things up, of course, and all that. But the branding is important. So the only thing I'd say is I'm not quite getting your brand. Okay, the only thing that's lacking here is the kind of and I'm sure it looks like you've got a fantastic business, and the courses are all there, and you've got great services, but what is that angle? What is it that I can associate you with you? What is it that you offer that's unique, if that makes sense? Let me just dive back into the chat here and go to Loft Ladder Solutions. Is it Mark? Mark, you put yours up there pretty quick. Thank you for that. And then just looking at, bloody hell, it's 12 o'clock already. We're going to have to speed this up. Just looking at this one here. This is good because you quality loft improvements. Okay. Could you elaborate on that more? Remember what I said about the trust and the concern that consumers have about hiring builders. What is it about you as a builder what is your brand? Is it that you're friendly, you're local? Okay, so you've got family run, and I've spotted that pretty quickly, so that's brilliant. I like that. But that's actually one of the most important things. Add value to your home. That's a good feature, but I would say that for your type of business, it seems like you're going down the family kind of run angle. By the way, I love the website. Really clean, really modern. Designed by InfoServe. Thank you, Mark. Great website though. I mean, even little things like this, just little design bits. Like I like that kind of stuff. I like the use of the capital letters there. That's really nice. But marketing angles as well. Think about the brand. And yeah, is there something we could do there to what is your brand goal? So I'm going to come back to websites. This is, like I say, a bit of a longer session today. Apologies for that. But I'm going to come back to some more websites in a moment. So what we've got here on screen is the logo is orange. The benefit of working with them is in orange. And the proof of the proof that we know they know what they're doing is in orange as well. Take note of that. The logo's orange. The benefit of working with them exponentially grow traffic, and the proof that they know what they're doing is in orange as well. So note how all that kind of links up, and that's their brand. Again, that's their brand goal, isn't it? That's a kind of angle. And then of course they've got the call to action, which is the button, in orange as well. That's really good design and really good trick in terms of color and contrast. So that's all about the color and contrast. And then another example about color and contrast is what buttons do you want to, what are the most important buttons? Well, on this website here, they've got the lesser important buttons are faded. So the return to site button there on the return to site is a lesser important button. So it's more faded than the more important. So check your buttons. Have a look at your buttons, have a look at the colors, etc., etc. Here's a controversial point, and it's controversial because we still design websites with sliders in the homepage. Be careful of sliders. Be really careful of sliders. And what is a slider? It's a carousel. So it's in your homepage, at the top of your homepage in that hero image, and the image slides from one to another, to another, to another. Be really careful because we're now we're always trying to get ahead of the curve. Okay, we're trying to get ahead of the curve here, and this is new research. And I don't think many people have seen this before, but we believe we're quite ahead of the curve here, and we're starting to believe from research and data that carousels, sliders, actually might be hurting conversions because it's bloating your website. It's people are looking and going through these carousels, but they're not seeing the most important bits of your website. The most important parts of your website are not they're going to be hidden behind each slider maybe, and you have to wait for it, don't you? Or you're going through these sliders and you're not seeing the most important bit. So are carousels and sliders bloating your the web pages and hiding the most important stuff? Does it waste visitors' time, and do they push down the navigation and other relevant content? Bit controversial because our designers, we would only be doing that last week or the week before. But we like to be disruptive and we like to be frank and honest about things. And we're starting to see that maybe sliders could be a little bit old hat. So our design team is on top of this. On top of this, we're always training and we're always pushing ahead of the curve. And I'm telling everyone today that maybe we should start to look at sliders and carousels. I'm not saying to let's just drop them and change everything. No, it's not the worst situation to have on your website. Absolutely not. But does it waste visitors' time? Does it push down the most irrelevant and important content on your website? So food for thought with sliders. There we go. Just food for thought. Quick plug because we've run out of time. If you want us to design a website for you, because people have asked us, and I've been actually told off for not actually saying that we can do website design and we can do it for $199. It kind of rhymes, doesn't it? But we do website design. We do it for $199, and that is 3-4 page website. So more pages, obviously, the more time it takes and the more it might cost. But if you want a new website, or if you want us to help you with a website with all of these best practices just done, our websites includes three things. And so it includes design, it includes search engine optimization, and it includes conversion rate optimization, which is all of the things we've looked at on all of the landing page best practices and conversion rate optimization. So I haven't seen that in many places across the UK, but our websites include, and that's all in at 199, website design, search engine optimization, and conversion rate optimization. We're funded, we get help from Google. So for small businesses, Google helps us with website design funding. So that's why we're able to do it. We're at least half price there because of the help that we have from Google. So thanks to Google for all the support that they give us for you guys, small businesses. So if you want a new website, we do have that support from Google at the moment, which means you can get a really good price on your website. So just reach out to us at the infoserve.com/support. Thank you so far. It looks like it wasn't screen sharing there. It looks like it wasn't screen sharing. I don't know if Josh is there. Josh, were you seeing the screen sharing bits?
No, I wasn't, unfortunately. It was just you talking, but it's fine.
Okay. I've been going on there for a few minutes, just to highlight the bits that I was talking about. I don't know if you saw this, Josh, at all, but this is just the buttons. I was talking about highlighting buttons on your website, highlighting the colors and the contrast. So you've got the logo's orange. The key bit about the benefit of working with us is orange. The proof in what we're doing is orange. So, it says 0.3 there, over 1 million visitors per month. And in the call to action, the button is orange as well. Work with us is button. So it's color and contrast. And, you can use that kind of trick of highlighting certain words on your website to match up and makes people see those bits and bobs. Same with buttons. Like I said, have the lesser important buttons as bold. The most important buttons as bold, and the lesser important buttons could be faded, like in that example there. That's all I was showing you guys. Was just the most important buttons are bold. And I mentioned sliders. And so if you missed the screen share, then there's what I was showing you about sliders. Does it waste visitors' time? Really be careful with sliders. Make sure the most important content is on the page. Sorry, Josh, if you can just mute a second because I can hear the feedback. Sorry, mate. All good. Thanks. So basically, yes, sliders. Make sure you are considering your important content there. And so that was the screen I was showing. All I showed you at the end there was just that. If you want to get help with your website, our websites include, like I say, design, search engine optimization, and conversion rate optimization. So it's 3 in 1, basically, all included, and it's all from that price right there. So if you do need any help or support, we'd love to help. Thank you so far, though. And I did want to check a couple of websites because a few of you are still with us. So I hope you've taken one or two things away from these webinars. So I'm just having a look through the chat. Josh, if you mind, Francois put a good question in there. We'll try and pick that up. I'm really sorry. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sorry. I'll call you Fran, if that's okay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly there. But Josh will pick up your question in the chat. So let's have a look at a couple more websites before we go, because it's really interesting, isn't it, when we have a look at websites live within the webinar. So I've got a couple more in here. And so I'm going to go to this one. So we've got obviously a COVID message that's come up here. Richard, Richard, this is yours. Let me just check okay, everything's good. Richard, first thing I've noticed is the logo. We need to get that sorted ASAP. That is a big concern for me. And that is something that stands out straight away. So we need to get that sorted out. Let me have a look. Is this? Yeah, it's an InfoServe website as well. So we must get that sorted out. Obviously, the designer that built this website won't be checking in on this website regularly all the time. So it might just be overlooked. But always check your website. Make sure there's no errors like that. That looks like a bit of an error to me, so we can immediately sort. It'll take literally 2 seconds to change that, Richard. So no panic, but we do need to sort it out. Welcome. I like this. Welcome to Richard. Okay. Do we need the welcome in there? I think that's a little bit starting to get a bit kind of old hat maybe now. Should we use this headline more effectively with content? You've got some really good points here. I like what has been done here. This is fantastic. I rarely see this actually, where you've got bullet points underneath the headline. I'm just thinking whether we should, if I just go back to that presentation, Richard, whether we should be using that, that sort of first area, that first headline, with more of a kind of, like a brand message, a bit more of a value added message. So just bear that in mind. Let's have a look at your button. It's contact me. Do we need to change that? I think what I would suggest is we maybe could invert the color on that contact me button there as well. So we have that as white, or a sort of a more kind of lighter color with the text as black or dark gray, obviously in your case. So we maybe invert the colors on that button so it stands out a little bit more. But aside from that, I really like this. You've actually got, you've got a book an appointment right here as well. This is fantastic, Richard. Ahead of the curve. Well done, InfoServe. I would maybe even, do we need the button if you've got your call to action? Is this the most important call to action you want here? Because you've got 2 options here. And so which one do I choose? Just food for thought there. Okay, so you've got read more. The layout is really clear. The fact that it's, it stands out very well. Okay, you've got 2 contact forms on the homepage. Maybe that's something we need to look at as well. Let's get rid of one of those contact forms now. By the way, all of these things that we're showing you today. So I said about choices. This is all brand new research and data and brand new kind of feedback and best practice stuff. So even just as short as a year ago, it's okay to have multiple contact forms doing the same thing. But I would say now every day we learn something new, and I would actually remove one of those contact forms and just have one on there. Like I say, could you make more use of that? Because on the service page, it's the same. Okay, so it looks like on every page you've got, you've got the same hero on every page. I would change that. I would be because this is the most important part of your website, and people are going to be clicking. I'm clicking on every page here, and this is how critical I am. I'm critical of our own website. We must expect the very best, and what I would say is this is a great opportunity to use this space better. We obviously only follow your content and your guidelines with what you want in the content. I don't know when we built this website, but what I would say is now's the time to start using this content better. Don't get me wrong. Look at the design. The design is fantastic. It's really, it looks really good. It's just that on every page, we need to know what we can put in this, and we'll do it for you. But I'd recommend doing that today. So use that space to your advantage, because now below here, you've got some really important content, which is great. But could you make that a little bit higher up on your page? It's different. These other pages are different, which is great. And you've got a testimonials page. You've even got the areas we cover. This is fantastic. Your SEO is really good in that respect. So really pleased with that. Couple of little tweaks. Won't take too long to change those things there. Let's go through to another one, Martin. I'm going to go to yours. We've still got a few people with us, so let's continue a few more minutes. Sorry, Martin, we already looked at yours, didn't we? We already looked at yours, so we did that one. I've got 1 or 2 more, which I'm going to go through now. Just bear with me. I think I got the pronunciation there, Fran. I'll come back to that. Okay, so here we go. Dress to Impress. Let's have a quick check of another website. SEO is missing. It just says home in your title tag. You need to change your title tag and have your keywords and locations in your title tag. Or if you're a national business, at least have the keywords which are bridal, prom, formal wear. So just at the moment, your title tag says home. Okay, petty to plus sizes. That's a good. There we go. There's a good start. You've got kind of the main service and the range. Now you have got a slider, I think, although the slider's not working. So I'm worried and concerned about these. These aren't buttons, but I was trying to click them. They don't work. The slider. This needs work. Let me just have a look through the website. Okay, so it's e-commerce. So this needs a lot of work up here. This hero image. It needs. You need to use that space. Better. So what I was saying before, going back to the space at the top of the hero image there, you need to use that a lot better. What is the main thing that you want people to do? You've got an online shop. You've got an online store. I was going to say shop. So, okay, you could maybe get people, you could maybe have a button here that people click and it jumps down to these options here, because these are the options that you want to show quickly, right? So these are the things that you want to show quickly, quicker than what you've got already. So for example, like Amazon, I can immediately see the big stuff. So you've got the main products at the top. They are using sliders, but their sliders are very, very thin, very, very sort of small in height. Just take note of that. If you're an e-commerce store, this is a really good idea to have your big products at the top, but the slider's very, very small in height. And then you've got your key products down here. And for you, Dress to Impress, that's how I would recommend your website looking. You've got the main, maybe not deal of the day. It'll probably be deal dress of the month. Yeah. Now, how about that? Bridal dress of the month, or bridal dresses of the season, seasonal dresses. I'm just thinking on the spot here. I don't even know much about bridal wear, but you could probably have seasonal stuff in there. And even that could be a slider. So even those images could slide around to the top dresses that you've got in your stock. And then you can have free delivery on your first order. That's a brilliant way to use space on your website. And then, you've got other popular things going on here as well. And most popular, everybody wants to know what the most popular stuff is. I shop by most popular. So I'd want to know what those are. I think you can sort it by, but what are the most popular dresses and what is in fashion at the moment? Give people that, direction and that advice, steer them into what you want to sell. You maybe giving too many options, it's too broad. So steer people a little bit. Use this space better. So if I click on that, where does it go? You see, it goes to the homepage again. So this is critical, and that needs looking at. So that's my advice. And then the logo. I saw a client of ours had a logo like this, and we changed it. And it was very similar to that. We changed it we just brought it slightly up to date to something like this. And we gave her that kind of icon, so she could use that icon in all of her branding. So what would you use in your branding? What is the icon that you use? Because you need a short version of your logo, if that makes sense. For example, Apple have got the Apple itself, but they're called Apple. This company has the R now, with the nice kind of tree, riverside tree kind of image. You need to think about doing the same. Get a logo designer to redesign that logo. We would love to redesign that logo and could do it for £100, whereas a lot of other agencies will charge £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 for marketing and brand design. We'll do it by the hour, £50 an hour for you. We want to be very honest and truth and straight with you. So there we go. We can help you with that if you need any help. There's one that I recognize in here before we go, and it's Sparta Security. Hello, Sparta. Thanks for joining. And I'm just having a look through. I see that you've redesigned this website now. I saw it the other week, and there was quite a lot going on, but now I see that you've cleaned it up. So well done. That's really good that you've cleaned this up. It looks a lot better now. You've got clear sections. Man, I really hope we've been helping through these webinars, and I really hope this has inspired you and your design because I like what you've done here. I know that you've been redoing it. Now you've got your services in one. This is brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So that you've made sure to kind of condense all of your content, and you've got clear buttons. I would maybe use this space. I think I would probably fill this space better. Although I like what you've done with the spacing around the images, that is pretty good. I think you're almost copying the Apple site there, but it's really good. But I would probably have this bit at the top filling, it's a real sort of like showstopper hero image, isn't it? So maybe have it fill the top and then keep this as it is with the spacing around it. But let's just go. Look, this is the thing I was talking about. Are you using this space here? This is the first thing that people see, and this is where people make their decisions. Are you using that well enough? And so going back to that presentation, think about this. Think about using the space. What is it that you do? What is it that's unique about your business? So I know you guys have been on TV even, and I know you don't want to really mention that. You could probably put as seen on TV somewhere, but what's unique about your business? So local security guards, predominantly ex-military veterans. Okay, that's really interesting. So maybe you could highlight some of this stuff. I'm just trying to bear in mind here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find your unique selling points myself, and it's taking a bit of time. So therefore, you need to pull these out more and have them highlighted on your website. Oh, here they are. Here they are. So this needs to be clearer. Sort of. I'm just having a look. Qualified GPS. Okay. First class and qualified ex-armed forces. Okay. Ex-professionals. I wonder if we could do. I know you've got it here, but I wonder if we could sort of redesign that hero image slightly and have a clear button with, I don't know, speak to a security advisor now, or speak to our team, get a free quote. What is it that you're wanting? That's I know it says book now, but book what now? And when I click that button, nothing happens. That's critical. You need to just have a look at that button and where that button goes. So yeah, I think you need to have a clear call to action, a clear hero image, and make use of that space. But otherwise, you've made some big improvements. You've got some really good bit. Look at the blooming brands that you've worked with. That's incredible. I think this needs to be higher up. I don't know, but I don't know how you could use this, but this is huge. That's really now building a lot of trust in the business. And if anyone's stayed at this place before, I highly recommend it. Very nice place to stay. But yeah, so have some of those. Build that trust more. Maybe a clear call to action on your homepage. Okay, time has run out. If you want to get a free audit, you can use our new page. It's infoserve.com/health check, which I've just put in the chat at the top there. infoserve.com/health check. If you need any support from us, though, one-to-one, go to infoserve.com/support and reach out to us. So we'll be back. What should we do? We'll be back on Monday. We will be back on Monday because we are still deciding on what we do with the webinars. So Josh is going to set up a webinar for Monday. We'll be back at 11 a.m. We're thinking about going weekly. So do join us on Monday for news on how we're going to organize the future webinars and how you can sign up, because you will need to sign up for the future webinars. But for the future webinars, we're going to be getting special guests in. So the amazing news is we've had confirmation from our partners at Microsoft, and we're speaking to Google at the moment, and we're going to be getting them in to these webinars, in the weekly webinars, or I think we're going to decide on weekly, to be honest. So we're going to be getting them in to help you face to face, and you're going to be able to meet the people at Microsoft and, fingers crossed, Google and maybe Facebook in the future. So there's some really exciting developments coming, and it's worth signing up to the next webinars, but we haven't got that link yet. We'll be back on Monday to share that link with you, to share all the details on our changing webinar. And so thank you so much for joining today. See you at Monday, 11 a.m. And we still have some emails to send to everyone with recorded webinars, YouTube links. So we've still got all those things to do. It's all on top of our mind. So thank you so much for joining. We'll see you again Monday, 11 a.m. Take care and have a lovely weekend, everyone. Thank you.